Hey guys, I'm sorry it took me so long. First time I have a Mac. I got rid of Windows because of these updates, and here I have a Mac and it decided to pull this on me. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be talking about part 2 of this interview, and I'm so angry that I just wanted to get it out of my system. So let's do the intro thing and we'll get right on it. Hi, I'm Laura, also known as TheRealLauraB from Twitter. I'm a researcher, truth seeker, and a new wave internet journalist. I'm not a lawyer, nor offering any legal advice. Join me on a journey to draw the curtain back to expose key news developments in the world of celebrity lawsuits and current events. Let's get started. Oh, where's my comments? Oh, this was crazy. So, yeah, I know you're angry. Can someone force? Yeah. Can someone force her to stop telling the story since it was found to be false? I know. I'm sitting there shocked that she could agree that Johnny lied. I mean, isn't there some recourse here? I don't know. I obviously she's had a lot of lawyer support to know what she can and can't say. But I just wanted to do this one article, and bear with me because this takes a little time. We have to switch between screens to bring up something. I wanted to bring this one up before we go through the article. Amber Heard has a plan and strategy to make a comeback, source says. Well, yeah, I think we're seeing that. I think this was absolutely, I'll stop that video when it starts. Absolutely, she wasn't sitting there relaxing the few weeks after this trial. She's been plan in place. They've been writing scripts. They've been working really hard. Fans have not seen the last of Amber Heard. We know that there's a promo coming up for the interview. Well, we're seeing it. Amber was waiting a bit before speaking out about the trial and sharing her truth until she felt ready and like it was a good time. I mean, who says like that way? Crazy. But we know she was prepping for this. They were pouring over her testimony. They were coming up with all kinds of questions that could be asked about her credibility, and she has prep answers. Amber was waiting a bit. She was advised by her team to lay low and take time for herself for a couple of weeks, see how she felt, and take care of herself. Yeah, I don't buy that. She was working hard, get interviews done and get scripting done. That's my opinion. As for now, she's feeling that she's had time to process the verdict, and the source tells ET that Heard is feeling more optimistic now. She's confident that her side will come out eventually, and she has a plan and strategy to make a comeback over the next year. Aren't we lucky? So we talk about this. She's definitely planning to appeal the court's decision. We're seeing some of that get started. The source said at the time she feels very alone and like she lost a lot of friends. She is sad that people she hoped would support her didn't. So it looks like they're all she is losing some support. So she has an upcoming interview. I don't blame them. She says to Julie, I actually understand. He's a beloved character and people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor. So as for how she was portrayed on social media, I don't care what one thinks about me or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home, in my marriage, behind closed doors. I don't presume the average person should know these things. I don't take it personally. Well, she has taken everything very personally. That's for sure. Yeah. I forgot to take the comment off. Sorry, guys. Yeah, JD's team knew she wasn't going to stop. She definitely not. Yeah, when did JD's lawyers convince the world he has scissors for his fingers like all the time? I must have missed that. Yeah, let's jump into this interview, and then we'll come back to the comments. I have to share it here. Get rid of that one. Get rid of some of my resources here. Oh my. Okay.
As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in? How could it? Surreal and difficult. In part, yes. This has been a long time coming. Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse.
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
Every word of her testimony. Remember, we've got the donations. I mean, there's so much she was caught lying in, outright lying. She amended her testimony over that week to try and fix what went on in the beginning of it. And they just didn't believe her. I mean, there were so many witnesses. They just
The real-life
didn't
drama
believe
of the
her.
defamation case between Amber Heard and her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, captivated millions of people around the world.
Amber Heard just got exposed.
Johnny, you hit me.
This is so cringe.
With clips spreading across social media like wildfire.
I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok. And the jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think
She went for it. She went back with what Elaine was saying. She went for it and doubled down and threw the jury under the bus. Social media was not in this trial. Yes, social media took clips from the trial because it was live, it was televised, it was all over YouTube. But it's not fair for her to say social media came into this court case other than what she brought in herself. They spoon-fed this jury all about the UK court case. It was brought up so much times. If that jury did go on social media, the first thing they were looking up was, what the heck is this UK trial about? And if they did, and that's a big if, they still found for Johnny.
I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this.
People online and crowds outside the courthouse made it clear where they stood.
This was when the verdict was read. So this wasn't every day it looked like this, as far as I can remember myself when I was there.
Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying burn the witch, death to Amber after 3.
I can't say I saw those signs specifically, but yeah, I think when I was in the court, every afternoon toward the end of the court, say about 4:00, people 4:30 as they went longer, people started filing out to go down to the road, to line the roads for when Johnny drove away. I never saw Amber go by. I don't know if I think she took a different route, to be honest with you. I don't think, oh no, I'm sorry. I take that back. I did see her go by once. Yeah, I did see her go by once, but I wasn't only out there a couple times. So, but the police very much controlled it. They wouldn't let anybody step into the road. They had to stay at the curb. Johnny was not allowed to stop. They stopped the lights, so he had to keep going. In the beginning, I think he was able to stop, and then with the crowds got bigger and bigger each week. That's what I remember.
3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans.
Yeah, because we were all wearing T-shirts and we all were dressed up as pirates. Yeah, no. The first 100 people who got in line got into that courtroom. Nobody was barred, and many of them were media. Many of them were other lawyers curious to see this case. So no, it's not fair to say it was packed with Captain Jack Sparrow fans. But yeah, there was a lot of Depp fans there to see the trial. And we were ordered to maintain silence, decorum, not to show emotion, not to yell out or anything. So yeah, that's not right. But remind me to get back to that point.
Who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words how that felt?
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have never felt more removed from my own humanity.
Well, let's face it. She got caught in her lies. When she went with this back in 2016, she got away with it. She put out this scenario that Johnny was an abuser, and mainstream media ran with it, and nobody questioned her, and he was stuck. He was silenced. She was supposed to go to court, and he was getting ready. You saw those texts, and he was like, man, I need you to give evidence. I hope you don't mind. I hate to do this, but I've got to go and tell the truth against this woman who's lying about me. And then she dropped the TRO, dropped the case. They settled, and they were never supposed to speak of each other again. And Johnny abided by that. And she just kept going with her activism and her speeches. And she just lived and breathed the life of a survivor and profited from it. She gave a lot of paid speeches. So yeah, she's humiliated because she got caught lying, and there's no going back. the world knows the truth. They saw the evidence. They heard the testimony.
I felt less than human.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
That's a great question. I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true.
No, it's not true. I think they all were looking at the video of the day, each and every day, and I think they could see the social media and the commentary. I think they looked at a lot of legal commentary, and they just bashed her testimony. They just tore Elaine apart. Yeah, I think that they knew going in that they had a good chance to lose because of all that they were hearing.
Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
And I think this is an interesting point because she benefited from the social media. She benefited from these commentators to call out her testimony and her lawyers so they can make corrections, because we certainly saw a correction that week off. You know, Johnny didn't have a break in his testimony. She had that week off in the middle of her first testimony, that they could look at all of these tapes and they could look at the YouTubers and the social media and see how she was coming across and see us calling her out about a palate and calling her out about other lies. And she corrected. So she benefited from this greatly.
Find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation. Answer, yes.
After the 6-week trial, the jury found Heard defamed Depp in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which she wrote she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. She never mentioned her ex-husband by name. Depp denied the abuse allegations in court. Heard won just one of 3 claims in her countersuit against her ex-husband.
I have to look at statement. As far as I can remember off the top of my head, it was a very detailed description of how they spilt wine and stuff, but I don't think that statement had the word hoax in it. I think that was important, that it was just too detailed about calling the lawyers and getting their stories straight and things like that. But let's I'll check that one.
That verdict came less than 2 years after a judge ruled against Depp in a similar case in the UK, in which he sued a British newspaper that called him a wife beater.
There was another trial, handled it with dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept.
I think she's confusing the audience here because I think she's now switched to the U.S. trial. Her evidence was not kept out in the U.K. She, in fact, she was bringing in evidence that was marked confidential. And at the very beginning of the trial, the UK, before it happened, the case almost got dismissed because of Schillings got confused with turning over evidence. They sorted by keywords and certain things didn't come out. That they were not withholding on purpose. That just didn't match the keyword search. And Amber turned them over from the US trial and said, hey, he hasn't turned these over. And it was about the drug discussions in Australia. So the judge was going to dismiss it. They argued it, and the judge then agreed to go forward with the trial on the condition that Johnny had a promise not to file any sanctions against Amber in the USA trial for her turning over confidential evidence. And that's really important because he was not allowed to do that. He was not allowed to compel her at all. In fact, I think this would be a good time to, let's switch over to another tab. Because remember, this was argued, and I'll get to the comments. I'm sorry, guys. I know you're all there. Let's look at this other one. Don't think that's the right one. Let's try again. Sorry. This is anyway, they took it for their plea in bar to get it taken off of to get this dismissed. Yeah, this is the one. And this is what Judge Ascarati said, and this is what they appealed. The judge came back with the interlocutory appeal answer again. They're going to appeal this again. This is not a matter of first impression. It is a matter of stare decisis. Based on the abundance of binding case law holding mutuality, what Amber's arguing is It was the same case in the UK as it is here. It was the same issue being a wife beater. It was the same issue with the evidence. The law, the holding mutuality is still a requirement in Virginia. Collateral estoppel is not appropriate here. Amber Heard was not a party in the UK. The article in the UK was not the op-ed. They were distinct, separate incidences. However, even if an exception to mutuality applied, the court is not persuaded by defendant's argument, and this is important, that plaintiff had a full and fair opportunity to litigate the UK action. Defendant was not a party in the UK action and was not treated as one because she was not a named defendant. She was not subject to the same discovery rules applicable to the named parties. In fact, defendant could not have been named defendant to the UK litigation because her allegedly defamatory statements were made after the UK action commenced. So I think that's a really important point. She was able to get a lot more evidence into the UK than Johnny did, a lot. I'm not sure what that means. My sound is coming through the microphone. This one? Am I double sounding? Am I echoing? I'm just checking now. Camera. Yeah, it says I've got it on audio. Okay, good. Okay, as long as the sound is working. Sorry, guys, because that was a lot we've already done. All right, let me go back to the video then. Oh, okay, when I'm playing the video? Okay, thank you. All right, thanks, guys. I'll be more careful then.
Out. Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people,
So now she's talking like the lawyers did some kind of performance, distracting from the real issues. Every single witness that Mr. Depp put on that stand, Ms. Heard's lawyers themselves got to question. There was no one-sided. Both teams got equal time. Both teams got to question either witness. And there were times even that we saw that Amber Heard put in a video deposition that Mr. Depp, he waived his side. They didn't want to waste any time. So she put in deposition video that was unopposed. That makes sense.
they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the
Oh, here we go. So going back to they were a bratty couple, it was toxic. We saw that in the comments of all the tabloids that everybody just wished they'd go away, that they were both at fault, that they were both pretty bad. But now we're going to jump into the First Amendment, and you can tell how scripted this is.
the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire.
Where did that come from? I mean, we're talking about defamation. We're talking about lies. And she's like, yeah, you can't go and scream fire because everybody can get trampled and get hurt. But I don't think that has anything to do with what Savannah's question was.
We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks. My understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
The truth is the word.
Yeah, truth is the word. And the Greek comes from the Greek. Yeah, they did a lot of research and scripting here. Yeah, truth is the word. And we all saw it. I mean, she was caught in her lies over and over and over
Yes.
again.
That was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
You spoke it to power. You sat there and told your stories. You were asked questions and you answered it. I don't know what she means by she spoke it to power. That might have been back in 2016, but we're talking about in this trial. In this trial, you had your chances.
In the closing arguments, the Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
Yeah, because he was sitting there like that.
I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress. So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded.
I just figured out what you were talking about. My microphone. My microphone is picking up the video at the same time StreamYard is. Sorry about that, guys. Still in the learning process. So we going back to the acting. Her acting coach got up there and said, Amber's a really great actor, but the only thing she can't seem to do is shed tears when she's acting a scene. She doesn't have any, she can't pull up any tears. And everybody in the room was like, yeah, we noticed. She's been acting the whole testimony, and every time she was pretending to look like she was going to cry, there was never any tears. And then Johnny Depp sitting there looking like Scissorhands, because we're supposed to believe he has scissors on his hands. I mean, she's played a zombie. We didn't see her looking like a zombie. I don't know where she was going with this one.
To it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are.
I think you have to remember, she's flipping the coin all the time. The jury believes she is the abuser in this situation. We've heard the audios. They're going to touch on that very minimally. Johnny was the one living in that situation where he was trying to appease her all the time, please her, apologize for whatever he did that would set her off. She's flipping the story completely because it was Johnny, remember, having to live through this.
Tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited. What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white.
So part of this is true. That audio was a negotiation of how to move on, but it wasn't with him as the abuser, because that audio included, I can't stay. I'm going to leave every time you start a physical fight. And she's like, you leave even if it doesn't escalate that high. You never stay. He talks about being chased into an elevator, which Debbie Lloyd was there for that. She testified that happened. He talks about her throwing pots and pans and vases. So she's flipping the script that, yes, it was a way for them to talk this through and figure out how to work through it. But it wasn't as him as the abuser. In fact, she says, you hit me. He goes, I never hit you. You pushed her the one time because he had to get away from her, but he never hit her. So she's completely flipping the script here.
I understand context, but you're testifying and you're just telling me today, I never started a physical fight. And here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do, with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other.
And we know that because that's what Johnny was going through. He was hiding in bathrooms to get away from her. We heard the audio from Australia. The jury heard it. 8, 10 bathrooms and various rooms to get away from her. And she just kept coming and pounding on the doors and pounding on the doors. We heard the audio that she broke, she got the door open and hit him in the head with the door and punched him in the face. So this isn't authentic. This is, manufacturing.
Other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, "Oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence."
20.
And this was when she had filed for the TRO and Johnny was overseas. He wasn't anywhere near her. She filed this emergency TRO and he's pleading with her. He says, don't do this to my kids. Let's work this out quietly. Let's come to some agreement and not do this, not go public like this, because this is wrong. And that's what that phone call was. And he goes, you can't say that I wasn't the one that was harmed. And this is when she went into that diatribe.
Second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
Yeah, you were doing that to Johnny. And by the way, the audios were put in. They're in the exhibit, Savanna. Did you not do any research on this? The exhibits were all turned into the jury. It was up to them if they wanted to spend the hours. I'm not saying every audio was hours long, but yeah, there are full audios sent in that they could have watched.
He
And
says he never hit you.
He can't.
Never. Is that a lie?
Yes, it is.
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in line? In court?
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from
I'm here just to twist the
what it felt like
narrative.
for me as a person who sat there.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the marriage.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong. I will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly and could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes.
So I might have messed up my my microphone a couple times. I'm sorry. But yeah, she admitted. Yeah, you did. I know. She admitted that she didn't know right from wrong half the time. She didn't know. I'm sorry about that. Now you can hear me. Yeah, I tried to mute it because of the echo, and then I got messed up with the cadence. I hope I didn't mess this up too much. Okay. So let me go back for some questions. I'm going to scroll up and randomly grab some stuff. Yeah, I'm muted. I'm muted. Was it that far back I got muted? Yeah. She needs help. She's sick. Yeah. I really think Dr. Curry was spot on. I really do. And I think even her Dr. Hughes, based on what she was, again, going by all these therapist notes that Amber was self-reporting, were really flipping the script. And a lot of what she explained was what Johnny was going through. Yeah, through the headphones. I think that's a good idea, is start using the headphones. I was trying to avoid these things, but I understand what's happening now with the video. So hope I wasn't muted the entire time. That's a bummer. Yeah. What does she hope this is going to do for her? She's trying to rewrite the trial. She's trying to rewrite the narrative completely. Sorry, guys. I know muted, no sound. Well, I can go back now. She should be jailed for constant lying against the court verdict without any proof, biasing people against law and justice. Yeah, I don't know how she's going to get away with saying out loud now that Johnny lied. That's horrible. That's horrible. And I can't believe she brought Edward Scissorhands into it. You're muted when you switch back to your voice. I thought I was. It says I'm not. She is continuing to abuse by sitting there talking about his career. She knows that's what got to him while they were together, and she's now doing it on national stage. So it's disgusting. Yeah, she needs to rewrite this narrative, and she's going to inundate, and she's got certain PR that are going to do that for her. And she's got backers. I don't understand the backers. I don't know where the money's coming from. All the audios I've listened to, some taped without Johnny's knowledge, not one captures the verbal escalating to physical, aka the sound of physical confrontation, such as the sound of a slap. I actually think there was one that she hit him, because a lot of people were talking about it. They were like, "Did she just slap him? Did she just?" So it's hard to tell when you're walking around with a phone, or a phone could be nudged, whether that was the phone making the noise or the. Lying is a choice. She needs to pray because she's a compulsive liar. Yeah, I think she's said it herself. She doesn't know right from wrong. She forgets it. Can Johnny block any book she tries to write with his name in it? I don't know what he's allowed to do. I think they had this NDA from their divorce, but I think once they went to court like this, I think that kind of semi-nullifies it. And I think that's why she's able to say what she's saying. How is this leaving each alone? She always instigates with something or the other. You're so right. She's not going to let this end until she starts working again. She's going to make what she calls her comeback in a year. No, I think she's starting it right now. Yeah, there's one where she boxed his ear. That's the one. And he asks again if she wants to do it again. And he says how much it hurts. It really hurts when because he's got tinnitus from loud music. Thank you. I'll get the hang of this. I will. I don't know. I think the echo it was better just leave it with an echo. The way she's moving forward with this, she will get another defamation case coming her way. Yeah, I don't know what he can do. The verdict isn't recorded yet. I just don't know how she can get away with saying he lied. I mean, right out. Are you saying he lied? Yeah. I saw the motions for appeal, which you provided. Thank you. Any dates of information when the appeal is supposed to start? There's some mixed information about that. To me, it looked like she's preparing for appeal. I think she is, but I think the first step might be that she's going to file a motion to set the judgment aside or dismiss the judgment or amend the judgment for a lesser amount or something. So, or amend her counterclaim. If they found for 2, why didn't they find for 3? So she's going to file something to get Judge Ascarati to change or throw out this judgment first. And then that won't work. And then she'll go into the appeal process. So she pretty much seems to me the same. There was an image shown of Johnny in the trial of him laying with his head under a table, almost like a child hiding from an abusive parent. It was very sad. I cannot imagine, and I sat in that court for many, many days, for him to sit that close in front of the testimony box where she was giving testimony. I just can't imagine. And he could not look up. Can you explain the transcripts that are sealed in the latest motion? Yeah, there is a protective order in place. There's actually several. It got amended and it was never uploaded. And I think a lot of that happened during the plea in bar when we first realized she was probably going to bring in some sexual claims, sexual assault claims. So anything that's private like that will be sealed. Anything that talks about her therapy sessions that have nothing to do with abuse will be sealed. So that's normal. So anybody who gave testimony regarding that, it can be sealed. Sections that they objected to that the judge disagreed with or agreed with and was not admissible. So anything Depp team objected to and the judge said that's not admissible. Anything in transcripts like that will also be sealed. So I'm not saying she's hiding anything. She's doing what I think the rules are. I saw this with Chris. So everyone's asking if she got paid for this interview, and Chris isn't 100% sure. He says they can comp her private plane, accommodation, meals, and things like that. But he did say they can't pay. He says they're not supposed to pay for news interviews. They're not really transparent in their rules that way. So we have to assume, based on what Chris's experience is, that she's not being paid, but she's certainly being comped for everything. I wish it was boring. Justice is done. I wish it was boring, but the mainstream media won't let it go. And that means we can't be quiet. We have to keep pushing the truth out there. We have to keep making sure that we counter her false claims like these audios and things that, no, this is really happened. She didn't make the donations. Yeah. Is there anything we do as a collective real DA victim speaking out? And that's the best you can do, is stick to the truth. We don't have to be the vitriol. We don't have to say burn the witch or anything like that. But we have the video clips. We have so much testimony and deposition that we can put out and keep pushing Johnny's side that she's lying. I would have thought that the essay been the humiliating, horrible part that she has been through if it was the truth. Yeah, the most horrible thing she had was having to sit on the stand. And what I found interesting from Dr. Hughes' testimony, that essay victims don't like to talk about it. They don't ever want to talk about it. And what boggled my mind when I heard that was, in the UK, the article wasn't even about essay. There was no reason for he even to bring that into the case. There was no reason for it except to try and shock the hell out of the judge, which it worked. The judge was very motivated. He found ways. He believed her. He believed Johnny was a bad man because he drank and he used drugs and he was older with this younger woman. He just believed it from the start, and he found a way to keep pushing for Amber. So there was no reason for her to even bring that into the trial. So I found that interesting when I heard Dr. Hughes said that. Everything Amber is saying right now is used against her. There's not going to be another court that I know of. So all she's doing is using it to twist the narrative for people who couldn't sit there and watch the trial every day, or doesn't know someone who did. She's twisting the narrative to push the believe all women no matter what. And look what happens. Look what happens to our poor victims. Aren't believed. That's what she's going with. Well, Johnny was the victim and Johnny wasn't believed. Can she go to jail? No. Amber's doing nothing but making it worse for herself. Yeah, because we're the ones with the knowledge. We're the informed people. So as long as we keep spreading that information, that's how we support Johnny. We're her parents. Her mom passed away. As far as I know, her dad, from pictures I've seen, is in California a lot with them. But he was not subpoenaed. He was subpoenaed. I don't think they could serve the subpoena to get him into a deposition. Judge Panny was so fair to Amber's side during the trial. The appeals panel is going to see it. I think so too. I think she made some great calls. And I remember watching a lot of the commentators thinking, she shouldn't have sustained that. She should have sustained it. She shouldn't have overruled it. So she was giving them a chance. She was letting them get stuff in. The fact she thinks the fans are just crazy fans who support Johnny because he's Captain Sparrow shows her narcissism perfectly. She doesn't think people are capable of seeing the truth for themselves. Yeah, I agree. She just thinks that anything she says is going to be believed. And that's how she was in the testimony. I pledged to donate. No, you said donated. I said I pledged. I mean, she couldn't understand why nobody saw the difference in that. There was a point in time during the testimony where it was evident that Dr. Hughes was describing Johnny whether did you feel the same? Yeah, I just touched on that. Like-minded, we're thinking the same thing. I heard so much out of what she was saying. I was like, man, you're talking about the wrong victim here. With her deciding to continue to talk about it, the claims that were found defamatory and lie about, it's only a matter of time before she slips up and gets herself in trouble. Well, I don't know how much more she can slip with. Did Johnny lie? Yes, he did. I mean, that's pretty big. Judge Penny even helped Elaine to ask questions because she was dying on cross. I mean, yeah. When she came up, she goes, what if ever is not a cure-all for everything. Gaslighting. How many times did we see her look at others with contempt in court? Heck, she even walked out before the judge had finished her closing statements, which is a huge disrespect to the court. Yeah, and people were pointing out that after that happened, the bailiff put his chair in front of the door and started sitting there, so that couldn't happen again. The texts from Amber's mom to Johnny are so sad. Please don't tell Amber I said this like 3 times. There was a lot of texts. We did a podcast on them with mom. And since mom passed away, none of those could come in. So for Amber to sit there and say, a lot of my evidence didn't come in. No, a lot of Johnny's evidence couldn't come in. There's a whole audio tape from Australia, but because where she admits, did I do all this? Is he hurt? Does he still love me? All this happened today. It wasn't a 3-day. All this happened today, and we can't get those in because Jerry passed away. What about all the files and depositions sealed? Yeah, I think we covered that. It's all part of the protective order. It's all part of the process. If they were shown to be admissible, ruled to be admissible, they have to seal it from the public, because you have to think too, God forbid this works for her, that she gets an appeal. There could be another trial. And you don't want this evidence getting out to a jury pool, so they're going to have to protect it all. Is this woman mad? How many people have CJD hit her? There's no evidence from relationships, but yeah, there's no evidence that Johnny hit her. I mean, the few injury pictures she showed were definitely altered. They proved they were altered. The other things were the brutality she described. There's no injuries to match those things. You saw her on the Gordon show. There's no way. Jennifer Howe's full testimony and statement. Amber's DV arrest record. Dr. Collins being unable to testify about the reality of Amber's injuries. Great point. A lot of Depp's evidence was kept out too. Yeah, a ton of it. A lot of it. The better thing to do with a narcissistic person is ignorance, or I think maybe ignore. Yeah. Today's show should play the Australia tape at the end of the interview in honor of the truth. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, don't forget to smash the like button if you're not subscribed. Thank you so much for your help. I forget that part. I also have a PayPal donation link for when I'm bringing documents. I'm really looking forward to deep dive into the Brooks trial, because I have all the documents and I already see people making some mistakes. Didn't Amber say in the UK that what she said on audio was sarcastic regarding her start physical fights? Now in the NBC interview, she said it was her fear for her life. Lies, lies, lies. Yeah, I think the only thing she's truthful she said is she doesn't know right from wrong. I'm okay now. Thanks. Thank you. If Age has this evidence that was inadmissible, I'm sure TMZ would be happy to facilitate the release of said evidence so we can all see what's stopping her. Yeah, I don't know. I hope she doesn't. Well, some of it's come in the UK trial, so we've seen it. Yeah, some of it's come in the UK trial. I think the biggest thing was Stephen's text. On a lighter note, Boo and Pistol should have been called to the witness stand. Yeah, at least their poop, right? We should have at least brought in a sample of their poop. What Age doesn't get is survivors presented with truth, and her presentation we recognize in abuser viralization. It's hard for me to listen, look at her. Reminds me of my own survivor history. Yeah, especially on those audios. She's so vile. She's just so vile. The maniacal laugh, the couch is not a safe word. That was sit down, talk to me, and be late for work. Be honest, they're crying about this trial. She was beat, but they keep going on about the UK trial, which was totally wrong. They just listened to her and friends. That's so wrong. Yeah, this was a fair and honest trial. The judge very much controlled the evidence. There was 7 jurors that had to be unanimous. And the UK was one judge who, I'll say this, was very motivated to find against Johnny. And I mean, even the LAPD he threw out. He threw out all the audio. He said audio cannot be accepted because it's not under oath. Testimony on oath is accepted. Oh, except, this time where it helps Amber. I know I said that before, but this audio, I'm going to side for Amber. I don't think she's actually going to appeal. I think the reason she's doing these interviews is because she's not going to appeal, and this is the way left she can continue her rise. I don't know her lies. I don't know. They're filed based on the paperwork I've seen. I think they're going to go through with it. Hey, Susan, I didn't know that was you. Just posted on Twitter the portion of the UK transcript in which she says she was being sarcastic. Okay, I'll try and find it. I'll try and find it. Oh my. Okay. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Okay, I got it. Let me see if I can get it over here now. Bear with me. What a great job you're doing, Janet. Thank you so much. I'm trying. Let's see if I can find your tweet. There it is. You carry on and tell us what the fight was all about, because it says here you started it. Tell us how you started it. Answer, Amber. I did not say that in seriousness. I said I did start a physical fight, and I said that one line before I also tell him he's great, he's right, he's admirable. I was being sarcastic. Yeah. I was being sarcastic. Thank you. Thank you for that. I hope JD makes her pay every penny owed. She needs to be held accountable for her continuous abuse. I hope he does too. But Johnny is a very nice, generous man. I just don't think he'll do it. I think they told the jury that, look, we're not here about the money. We're here to clear his name. So that's another option. People thought he might settle with her, don't appeal, and I won't make you pay. And that, I don't think she'll abide by that. I think you can see she's already going out telling everybody that he lied. Amber wasn't a defendant in the UK trial. He didn't lose against Amber. He lost against the son. Yeah. And the threshold was far lower for NGN. Everybody's saying it was easier for Johnny, but compared to the US trial, Johnny was at a much higher level to prove his case. Clear and convincing evidence, which is like, people want to say it's like 75%, where in the UK it was, furtherance of the evidence was about 51%, I think. So he had a much more difficult time, and he was able to bring his evidence in, and that's what made the difference. Never try to destroy a person's life with a lie when yours can be destroyed with the truth. And that's what happened. The son relied on Amber's evidence. She was a witness, not verified as a defendant. Sad, but true. So son's article was based on lies. The only fame she got is standing on Johnny's fame. Absolutely. The sad part is Wooten never conferred with either one of them to write this article. He did it on his own based on the TRO document, which is temporary. You have to go to court to prove it. And then she was not a witness. She didn't have to be a witness. She wasn't compelled to be a witness. She volunteered, kept writing these witness statements, and then, like I said, added the essay on when it wasn't even part of the article. There was no reason for it. At this point, Depp needs to ask for all of the funds the court ordered Amber to pay out and not give her grace. He could give it to the Children's Hospital if he wishes. She's doubling down now. Yeah. I think that's an option. I think he's got lawyer bills to pay. I mean, he had to do this because she wouldn't stop. She just wouldn't stop. He could make her pay just the $3.5 million to him, and he donates it because he's not going to trust her. I think Elon is done with her. Eve Fartlow posted on a Twitter message in reference to Elon not supported them. Yeah, I can't figure out Eve. I don't know where she is right now. She was pretty quiet the other day. I was checking her. She wasn't even liking things. In fact, I don't think she liked Amber's interview. It was fixed. Did she declare who she went out to dinner with? Oh no, that Katie Hines story. Yeah, like there's a lot of connections there. I think it would have been brought up somehow. I think it's a small community. Yeah, his son is supposed to have worked for that radio station, but I think he was a contracted speaker. So I think that was the way he could get away with it. Why would her newly hired PR team allow her to continue down this path? Oh, they're encouraging it. They're helping her. I mean, they are crisis control. This is what they do. He was with her in New York. He got her this interview. And what about the legal team? Don't mind my hands. Yeah, they're doing whatever they can for sure. Let me see if I can share something with you. I don't know if I can do that here. Oh, I can. Oh, great. So I want to share it here. In case we're wondering, I've been hearing a lot of people saying, well, who's doing what, helping her? And they thought Eve Barlow might be writing a lot of stuff for her, but this is what I came across in one article. Yeah. So this is just a clip I took. Heard spokesperson Alifar Hall confirmed last week that the actress does intend to appeal the verdict handed down by the jury. So they've named her spokesman because we've been hearing a lot of this spokesperson, that's someone close to Amber. So now we've got a name, and she works for Shane. So she's part of his PR company. So we've got a spokesperson now named. I guess it's not Eve. I'm not saying Eve's not participating somehow, but I don't know where she is. Move, false. He's not going to pay her millions, and you're in absolute denial that the jury found her guilty on all three. I'm in absolute denial? How can I be in absolute denial when they did find her guilty on all three? Every single one they read out. JD needs to attach properties. She must pay. Yeah, I think she does have to pay. And I think she's trying to make it out that I'm the abuse victim. Please believe me. And now he's going to take all my money too. She's really doubling, tripling down, being the victim. Pretty sure NBC paid for the flight for sure. She's wearing the same outfit. They don't normally pay for an interview due to the ethics, but that would get her to New York. Yeah, I think there's something up there. I think Chris Melcher was trying to dig into it, and they're just not transparent enough that they do or don't. But and if it's a news story, it's going on Dateline. It's a whole hour-long interview. So when it goes on Dateline, is that separate now? Is that commentary? I don't know. I've never heard of a safe word used outside the context of role-playing, where one partner may need to say stop without breaking the fantasy. Arguments are real. You can say stop. Yeah, you can say stop. They were going through therapy. So, but here's the interesting thing is that came back after the testimony. Remember, she was a week away, and suddenly she was rehabbing her testimony going, oh, and the word couch, I heard me say couch. That was a safe word. So I think that was manufactured at the last minute. It didn't make sense to me at all. It's funny how the abuser would walk away, but the abused will continue to interact with the abuser. Amber Alert, she lied again. Yeah. Age could have walked away with $7 million in her career, but she wanted to ruin Johnny. Yeah, all because he wanted to divorce her first. So he says he wants to divorce her. He's coming over to talk about the relationship on May 21. Do you want me to believe that she did not record that? She was recording everything. I'm coming over for a serious talk about our relationship. I just have to believe that it was recorded, and it didn't go the way she wanted, so the recording disappeared. The next day, Johnny's done. He's leaving. He's never coming back again. She knows it. So she knows she can't recruit, but he's going to file for divorce. So she runs to file for divorce first. She files a week later for the TRO. What happened in that week? She sent a letter demanding 3 condos, one for her, one for her closet, and one for her friends to live in rent-free and maintenance-free. She had to take care of all the bills after that. Yeah. So after he would not give in to her demands, in fact, she threatened to serve him on the red carpet in the letter. And that's when she filed for the TRO. So there was no reason for it. It was just because she wanted to be she could have just filed for divorce and walked away. Had her career, still be the ex of Johnny Depp and use his name all the time. A member of her new PR team is a sexual offender. I don't know that he's been convicted. I think there's been accusations. I also find he's very litigious, so I'm not going to hang around with that. Oh, God. Johnny Depp is guilty as charged. The juror was pressured because Johnny Depp was super famous and the social media posts influenced them. No, they weren't pressured. They got the same testimony from her side as his side. They all had equal time. The judge counted the hours, made sure they were not influenced by social media. If anything, and I keep telling you people, if they went out online, they would have looked up the UK judgment. So it just completely falls flat for me. Just falls flat. Anything that these YouTubers or TikToks were doing, the clips in the courtroom, they were there. They saw her. Her PR is arranging all these interviews and articles, 100%. 100%. Elon has donated to her in more ways than one. Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever know. JD might make her pay now that she's still calling him an abuser. I hope so. I hope so. Oh, I missed that one. I guess that's to somebody else who said something. Sorry. Rumor has it the embryo is Elon's. If this is the case, Amber gets $20,000 a month and the child money for life. This is how Elon rolls with baby mamas. Amber gets a check for life. Yeah, I have no idea. All we have is Jennifer Howell's statement that Paige told her. So again, it's hearsay, that they were in a legal battle over embryos. That's all we know. If they were in a battle, then it's either Elon, one of them wanted them destroyed and one of them wanted to have the baby. Again, if this is true. So I think whatever was settled then, if he didn't want the baby, I don't know that he'd agree to monthly child support, but he may have just, I have no idea what he would do. I don't know why he'd pay her money to not destroy them. So I just don't know what scenario that could be. If he did take her to court over these. I think Virginia changed appeal bonds recently. I don't think she needs much money to start, but the transcripts, she'll need to supply that's like $200,000 for a 6-week trial. So this is what's been explained to me about the bond because of his civil trial. So she files for the appeal. The appeal does not stop the judgment. She would still have to pay Johnny. Or just say the defendant whoever lost would still have to pay the other person. Johnny has an option to say, yeah, pay me. Or, okay, I'll wait till after the appeal. If he says you don't have to pay me right now, I'll wait for the appeal, then she has to put a bond up for court costs. If Johnny says, no, you need to pay me, then she needs to put a bond up for the full amount to not have to hand the money to him. And Andrea Burkhart and Emily D. Baker said, if she doesn't pay up immediately, either way, the judgment accrues interest. And Emily suggested about 6%. That's a lot of money on $10 million or $8 million. So that's my understanding of the bond. Will they charge her for perjury? I don't know. I really don't know. Where did all of his money go? He had some managers that he sued. And my understanding, he was very happy with the outcome of that lawsuit, and things were mishandled, miscommunicated. Yes, Johnny spent a lot of money, but I don't think he understood what he had and didn't have in that respect. He had some people take advantage of him, but his new manager testified that he's doing really good. The sad thing is she isn't going to stop. She's in real danger now and doesn't realize it at all, which leads me to believe she really isn't well. She needs help. This is a cry for help. Oh, I don't know. That's a cry for help. I think she really believes, just the way Dr. Curry said, this is who she is. This is who she thinks she is. She doesn't know right from wrong. Eve Barlow tweeted out about and retweeted all the NBC interview tweets. But then yesterday in the evening, see, this is what I was hearing. She deleted and unretweeted everything. That's what I was hearing. Oh, hit the like button, guys. It helps my channel. Thanks so much. Like, comment, share. Appreciate it. I'm getting better. I tried to stop the echo, and then I guess the button got stuck on my mic. Headphones for now on, especially if I'm showing video. Did she not fight to be in court every day in regards to the UK trial? Yeah, she demanded to be in court. The judge allowed it. Apparently, that's not uncommon in civil trials. What I didn't understand was why her sister was able to be in court every day. Also, that was crazy. I just want Johnny to leave me alone. She's a joke. Yeah, she's scary. Very scary. I guess he means a PR guy. JD, make her pay the money. She won't stop until you do. Yeah. I think either way, she's going to twist it. If he makes her pay, he's going to look like the bad guy. Because she's still going to live with this idea that she's still the victim that got wronged. She's the victim. The jury got it wrong, and now he's further abusing me. That's all she has to go forward with. I've missed that, Tina. I think there was more to come through that didn't come through. She clearly has the wrong people around her. It makes sense. I think it was very telling that she said she had a lot of people leaving her. I don't think she has a lot of people around her anymore. We've got Eve, her sister. Her sister has to be there. She's stuck with her. I think her dad is up in age. I don't think he's well. And she's got lawyers. I don't know who else she has around her. They've all left her. Yeah, Melanie, her makeup person. I don't know if you follow her on Instagram. I'd love to go find that one, but I think it's too far back. She posted on the day of her live deposition. She posted a Gone Girl picture of the movie. I couldn't believe it, but I was like, where were you to tell the truth properly then? Johnny needs a gagging order or to file another defamation case. The interview was filmed in New York, so different jurisdiction. Oh, interesting point. But yeah, I think maybe as part of settlement that she has to drop this Johnny abused me narration. She has to drop it altogether. I worked with an individual like her for 10 years in forensic setting. They do not give up until they are made to. Yeah, I don't think she'll give up. She continues to defame and slander him. We don't know him. We don't look at the characters on the stand. We are looking at facts and evidence. I am worried for him because she continues to abuse power. Yeah. I want to share a tweet that just came out not long ago. This is kind of scary. This one here. So Tug. There's major money backing Amber Heard's PR machine. A source called it, quote, one of the biggest PR pushes they'd ever seen, unquote. Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. There's backers of some kind. And I don't know if, I'm not thinking it's Elon. I'm thinking it's people like that, Michelle Dauber, these people who, political people pushing the believe all women's narrative. Me Too beyond. But she's got apparently a lot of power, money behind her. Why would Johnny give money to Amber's child? He's got children of his own. Get real. I missed that conversation, but I mean, he owes her $2 million, so it's going to be a wash. But yeah, I think maybe they're talking about Elon. JD won't push her to pay, in my opinion, according to what Josh Richmond said, JD's best friend. Yeah, I was on that. I was listening to that stream. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Johnny's just a nice guy. He won't push it. Absolute denial. He's very generous. Even after all he went through, Josh was saying back with the managers, and I think Bruce Witkin and testified. But yeah, he's been taken advantage by a lot of people, and he's still very trusting and generous like that. Oh, wow. 2,900 right now. Well, when I post this up, I'm going to have to edit out my commentary where I muted it by accident. I'm boycotting Dateline. Well, here's the thing. We haven't seen the whole interview. I'm sure if Johnny was willing to interview, they would take him, but he's just not going to do it. He's done. He's put this behind him. It's off his shoulders. He's living his life. I wish the interviewers would ask her why she bought Johnny a knife as a gift, and the pictures look the same. Oh my God. This man, she's frightened for her life, and she buys him a hunting knife? Seriously? She's just not credible. She's just not credible. And yeah, the pictures were exactly the same until they filtered them put the red up on the one picture. There are ways on how a guest like AH gets paid for interviews. They don't pay her directly. Yeah, there's a whole lot of benefits that they can give her as far as travel and food and stuff and lodging, but I don't know how this works. If Dateline is considered a commentary piece or news interview. I'm a psychotherapist. Amber clearly shows all signs of her diagnosis Curry gave her. Ultimately, though, greed for fame, money, power drive her. She seeks successful men. Oh, yeah. She wants to win an Oscar. Somebody was asking me. Oh, God, I'm going to have to come back to that one. Oh, I don't think she liked Johnny playing music. I don't think she liked him being around those guys. You know, she made a comment about they're just a bunch of old guys. I think she was jealous of them, that she couldn't control the narrative with them, that they didn't buy into her crap. But I think it was that she couldn't benefit from his music side. She could benefit from him as an actor, getting her roles, getting her status as an actor herself. She could use his name. But when it came to him in music, there was no benefit to her. So I think she was really jealous. And that would play into this Curry diagnosis that, yeah, she couldn't benefit from his music side. So she made fun of the old men playing guitars. Move. Did you watch the trial? Sorry, I know you're answering to somebody. Amber Heard supporters are so blindsided by her lies. Won't blame you guys, though. Your role model is quite the manipulator. Amber alert. Amber, yeah. Amber's quite manipulative, yeah. Now, they're all upset right now, I'm hearing. So, this is what's funny. They're complaining about the interview that there's too many cuts in it. Well, obviously, there's not going to be cut for the Dateline. They're doing this in segments now. But why would they be upset it's cuts? Because they know she's not coming across well. They know her own supporters know she's not coming across well. And they're like, stop doing all the cuts. Stop doing all the edits. Have they invaded the chat? If I see them, I don't mind answering some of their questions, but if they're getting abusive, I will boot them out. Tug has found court documents that she is asking to seal Io's testimony and others. Yeah, we talked about those. Anything that was was ruled not admissible, she'll seal. Anything about medical, she'll seal. Anything about financial specifically, she has the right to seal anything she wants to seal. Mr. Depp's team would have to file to reclassify it, and he's not going to do that because at this point, it's not really meant for the public. You were one of the first I saw on Twitter posting factual evidence, and it was much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to get into the Brooks Depp case. I had mixed feelings about it. It may not go forward, but the mainstream media is starting to report on it. And I'm thinking, at least let me get the facts out so you guys are all armed to comment against mainstream media and all his haters. Why can't she move on with her life? She can't stop. No, she can't stop. She's created this fantasy of who she's supposed to be. And I think she'd be with Johnny in a minute if he would take her back. I mean, I think that's how crazy she is. If Johnny does an interview, who do you think should interview him? Excuse me. I don't know. Savanna's done good interviews with him in the past, but I just don't see Johnny doing it. He's done. He wants to go. He wants to leave. No one pressured the jury. No one pressured the jury. I don't give a about an elbow cough. I'm telling you, nobody pressured the jury. I was there every day for many weeks. Therapy was not going to help these two, especially when one person has got a mental illness that needs to be treated. Yeah. I don't know if she's going to get treated or if that's the kind of thing that you just learn to adapt with. Like you accept that this is my behavior, and when these signs come up, how do I work through them? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Still got some pollen going here. Everybody watched it. How can you say it's not fair? Everybody watched it. Okay. The juror can say anybody's innocent like they did with OJ. Doesn't it mean it's true? Johnny Depp is guilty and the appeals will show it. Well, if the appeals are going to show it, then great. But 7 people had to agree unanimously, not majority, unanimously. They all sat through that trial. They all saw the same thing. Johnny Depp was never charged with anything. The UK judge even said on record, I'm not here to charge or convict anyone. It was a libel case and she wasn't a defendant. Yep. People who've never dealt with a narcissistic person doesn't understand. These people will never take responsibility. No. She's not going to take responsibility. She thinks she's right. I mean, she doesn't think she's done anything wrong. She thinks she's the victim and she's going to live like that forever. And she's going to market herself that way too. Can't the judge order a gag order to her because of these new accusations and the insults to the judicial system? Depp's team will have to file a motion for that. I'm not sure. It's very hard to gag someone's freedom of speech. But again, we're getting back into the defamation area when she says he lied. So yeah, I haven't seen the trolls. I will delete them. I mean, if they've got questions, I'll answer them. They're not going to like my answers. Amber sought successful men as Depp, Elon, and Costner. It didn't work. That's a good point. She should do a live interview where she's not prepared. Yeah, I wonder if they got the questions from Savanna, although I think she's pretty credible. I don't think she would give questions ahead of time, but I think they could anticipate pretty much. Yeah. I don't know where this person is. I'm not seeing him on my side of the chat to delete them. He's not that powerful in Hollywood. No, he was never the Hollywood player, but he's incredible talent. And I love the way Carino and Wiggum talked about him. He is an incredible, incredible talent. Embers needs to stop it. Yeah. Does anyone know Rottenborn is being so quiet? He's done. He was not the lead attorney. Elaine was, and they're not in the same firm. So he's moved on. She has textbook histrionic personality disorder. NBC should be boycotted for supporting the abuser. Yeah. And sadly, they're making a lot of money off of this with ads and clicks and stuff. I'm not seeing these people. I would delete them, but I'm not seeing them. People can have an opinion on the trial so long as they watch the trial. Otherwise, it's just a thought fart into the wind. Express away, but I'm not interested in hearing it out. I know I can't stand how many of these tweets we're seeing or even the reports. I didn't see the trial, but here's my opinion. No, I'm unmuted. The only thing Johnny hurt was Amber's feelings. Yeah. I watched the interview. She didn't answer some questions. She kept on talking nonsense to avoid the reporter question. Oh, yeah. She's definitely going to do that. She has a narrative. Elaine did the same thing with the Roman Colosseum. And now we've got where the first freedom of speech came from. Yeah, she has a set narrative monologue that she's going to get through and avoid some questions. A lot of the TikToks were just audio from the trial with people acting it out. Not much extra influence there. No, it's what really happened. That's what I'm saying. This is what the jurors sat through. More, you obviously didn't watch the trial. Do your research. I'm not seeing this person. JNS family. Yeah, he's staying quiet because he's smart. Yeah. Rottenborn. Yeah. Where did I say? Yeah, good lawyer. When you lose, you move on. You take the hits. It's like any other sports game, really. You lost, you move on. I did like the CBS interview that one guy pushed back and said, at the end of the day, you take the loss. You say, what did we do wrong? You look yourself in the mirror and you got to move on. How many times is the post? I don't know where it is. I can't find that person. I think he should sue her again since she keeps calling him an abuser. Yeah. Johnny wants to be done. I think she knows that she can get away with it. She said in audio, you didn't have to do anything. Just let me file and you let me. Johnny said, that's not how it works. I had to find an answer. Yeah. So she filed for divorce and she had her demand letter. If Johnny didn't answer, the judge could have just defaulted to everything she asked for. So of course he had to answer a lawsuit. Why would a juror who had to sit in court all day want to go home and research it and watch it on social media? Not. I think what she's suggesting is the week off, that too many people would be talking about it by then. Her would end up a lonely woman because of the lies, and who wants him to abuse, I think. Martin did his job, took his pay, and wisely kept quiet. I do not like Elon. Elon is the baby father. I don't like it. I don't know that he is. I think she went about it just the normal way, but it takes a lot of money. And that could be what the deal was. And I'm just speculating. If there was a lawsuit and he paid her to not use those embryos, she may have used that money to use the surrogate process. But again, this is all speculation based on what Jennifer Howe's reporting. What about 6 years of headlines like JD is a WB? Didn't that affect the jury? If they think of a couple memes about dogs stepped on a bee, how could that affect their judgment? No way. Johnny was vilified. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere. If you knew his name, first of all, I don't know anybody who doesn't know his name. If you know his name, he was vilified for 6 years. The kindest thing to be done with age now is to put her in a nice asylum with no technology or outside world contact allowed. Yeah, she's got backers. She's got money behind her, Tug says. And he has sources. So Heard admits that she's a Hollywood rando and no one knows of her until this trial. Johnny's fame didn't win the case. The audios did. Yeah, I think the audios, her testimony. I think Johnny's testimony, he admitted. He says, look, I'm not the perfect person. I make mistakes. I drink too much. I use drugs. I say bad words, mostly in text to other people, not Amber. I'm not perfect, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm embarrassed by it. You have to see that. But I did not hit this woman. Yes, I watched the trial. I saw Johnny Depp's evil text messages, not to Amber. Johnny Depp is just trying to save face with capping and hoping the popular opinion saves him. Oh, there's Move. Look, I'm telling you, he admitted to things. She admitted to nothing. All right. Aquaman. Here we go. Aquaman, you're all saying it with me. I know you are. Just wait. H and her friends are going to start crying foul on today's show and how it was an unfair interview. This didn't work out as she hoped. Oh, yeah, they're already saying, stop editing it. Like you're editing it to make her look bad. I'm like, so they must also agree she looks bad. JD would be stupid to forgive Amber's debt if it helps him on appeal, helps her in an appeal. Yeah, Johnny's a nice guy. He really is a nice guy. You're amazing, Laura. I admire you so much for what you're doing. Keep us informed. Thank you. I'm imperfect. I make mistakes. I was trying to help with the stupid echo and I ended up muting myself. Her is a liar. She lies about everything. Her can't stop lying. I think my favorite thing I heard from the legal commentators are lying liars are going to lie. And they're going to keep lying. I'll never understand why Jade left Vanessa and their children. I think they just mutually grew apart. I mean, I don't think that Amber was the catalyst. I love how she says she just wanted this to be over, but she's continued to do this. Well, she has nothing else. She has to. She didn't win. She just wanted it over when she gave the testimony because she thought she might win. She lost. She can't give it up. Amber's the biggest, I guess you mean liar. Depp doesn't need her money. He'll get future roles and then pay much better. A far more enjoyable way to get the $10 million. He'll just make her keep his name out of her mouth. That's a possibility. An injunction, I think they call that. Maybe Eve is afraid to republish the new defamatory statements. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't like it. Maybe she's of the idea that we're not going to share something that's been edited. Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate it. Hang in there. Yeah, Waldman. I miss Adam. I miss his tweets. Amber left boo-hoo on the bed. Yeah, grumpy. Isn't that what Johnny called it? A grumpy. As a survivor of domestic abuse, she makes me sick to my stomach with all her lies and acting. I'm so sorry. I can only imagine those audios must have been so triggering for actual survivors, knowing the triggers that it was her. It was definitely her. And don't feed the troll. I think I found him. I don't know if there's another one. Amber 100% will never give it up. She cannot admit fault. She cannot admit to lying. She knows she's opened perjury charges in 3 countries, but more so, she just has to be right all the time. Yeah, she thinks she's right. She thinks she's right. The judgments are separate. She would need to pay the full $10 million unless both sides agree to lower judgment instead of paying. Yeah, there'll be an agreement. I think that's pretty normal when there's 2 judgments on both sides. She did that to delete her posts from all the quote tweets. Oh, because she was getting beat up in the quote tweets, maybe. Did I see when JD invited Whitney come over to his side? I watched it on the video. From being in the courtroom, I couldn't tell what he was doing. I don't know whether he was mimicking a story with Ben, and Ben turned away and didn't realize it. And I think it was something like Rottenborn wants a piece of me, maybe. So I don't think it was to Whitney. But again, I think it was something that Ben was in on the joke, but I don't think Johnny realized Ben turned around. So I don't think it was intended to anybody else. Definitely. Amber seems to be living in an alternative reality. Strange that she has forgotten the world watched the trial. I know that the world did watch it. Now, not everybody. People went to work, but I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't know someone who watched quite a bit of it. I've got a jar of dirt. I've got a jar of dirt. She's a shame. Yeah. Vile. God, she was vile on those audios. The stuff she said, her maniacal laugh. Oh, just hearing Johnny. Disney should pay all of Johnny's costs and loss of earnings. I think the most thing he was upset about with Disney is just, look, talk to me. Don't go behind my back and give out an article saying I'm done. If you got an issue, talk to me. Say I'm sorry, but the bad PR is going to hurt the movie. We can't go forward. I mean, just have a man-to-man talk. You've made billions and billions of dollars off of me. I hope he asked her to pay the evil texts that weren't to her, that she didn't know existed until discovery. Yeah. Yeah. And again, they're not to her. They should have been irrelevant. I saw a text from her to JD begging him not to let Amber know what she said to him. I think she was scared of Amber. I'd like to know how she died. Oh, Paige. Yeah. There's something very secretive to that. And I don't think we'll ever know what happened. But she loved Johnny. She loved Johnny. Everyone, if you click on the 3 dots, Lucy, you can block them. That's what I did. I finally found them. I would be careful to not piss off Camille. The woman's a sniper. She's going to be taking care of the Brooks trial, and Ben is also there. He's filed into there. She can't declare bankruptcy because the jury declared she did what she did with malice. It's intentional tort. Yeah, that negates her using bankruptcy. It's not an option. She's using these interviews as cash cows. Which brings me to the next question is, how can she use insurance? I think the insurance could cover her costs, her legal costs, but not the judgment because it was intentional. So I'm not even sure how the insurance works for that. Did EB undo the NBC? Yeah, apparently. We'll have to look at it again. You're most welcome. Thank you. We cannot blame everything on her bipolar disease or histrionic personality disorder. Sorry, not disease, disorder. Some of this is her greed. Yeah. Not everyone who's diagnosed is a bad person. I mean, not everyone who's diagnosed does this kind of stuff, but it feeds into this kind of diagnosis for her, feeds into the behavior, and she's never going to stop. That's the answer. You're a true hero that we all would love to have in our corner. Love that you are doing this video. I was so mad I was so angry when I saw I got to talk to somebody. I just got to talk to somebody. I think that's why I was so shaky doing it all. Amber Heard's creepy PR guy reminds me of the Stormy Daniels creepy porn lawyer. I think it's best for Depp to keep apathetic and quiet. Let Amber self-destruct and continue burning all her bridges. Yeah. I was really upset when they said that Johnny was doing all these victory laps and aggressive interviews or the lawyers were, and Johnny's moved on with his life. He's doing the music. He's got another trial to prepare for unless that can get settled or moved. He's not wallowing in his victory. The fact that barely any women are supporting her says a lot. Women will not just dismiss serious domestic violence and sexual abuse claims easily. They know she's lying. Yeah, but I also think there's a huge Believe All Women crew that are behind her. That they see this as a setback. It shouldn't be. It's not a setback for women. It's a setback for a liar. They should be looking at this like to help promote Johnny, a male victim of abuse. Abuse has no gender, but I think she's got a lot of support. Yeah, I don't know. These friendships don't usually last. And it's interesting she said everybody left her. So, but Eve is still there. You just found me. Thank you. I just found me. I just decided I needed to do something. Can we all get a divorce from Amber? Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? If she's got money backing for her PR, she's got money to pay for Johnny. There you go. She's mentally ill. She has those personality disorders, plus the use of drugs and alcohol. Oh. Yeah, we talked about them getting sealed. That's standard. Depp team, if she overuses the seal, Depp could get them reclassified, but at this point, we really don't need to see them. They don't want to know that a man can be a victim of yeah. We know that. We know what happens. We know the numbers are higher than we even know because men are afraid to report. I think she's been seeing so many therapists, it makes me wonder if she's doctor shopping because they don't give her the outcome that she wants to hear, that it's everybody's fault but hers. She can't leave him alone. She's obsessed with Johnny. It's beyond obsession now. Didn't she say she was going to get busy raising her daughter? Yeah. ACLU have huge incentive to try to salvage her story. Yeah, but I mean, bottom line is they believed her. They went ahead and believed her. But we saw the vile emails that they knew they were profiting on Johnny's name. They knew if she was anybody else. Agree Heard's getting funded by the Me Too Coalition. Yeah, she's got some big money from them. Tug said so. Tug was right before the trial started. It's political backing. They want a female president, and they push the Believe All Women narrative to support it. Yeah, there's an account I follow. Let's see if I can find him now. Truth. Let's hear the truth. Let's hear the truth. I follow him, and he's, or she, I'm not really sure, has been following a lot of this college Title IX issues and has found this big web of people like Daubers involved in it, and how they're pushing this woman's narrative. And the Title IX, the campuses now, where if a woman accuses a male student of a SA, that she shouldn't have to testify, shouldn't have to face him, that basically he should be perceived guilty and not able to prove his innocence. So and the ACLU was backing that. Yeah. She's obviously mentally unstable and there's a child involved. Why isn't anyone in her camp? Well, whatever she's been diagnosed with, a lot of people have children and can raise them very fine. Doesn't make her an unfit mother. So we have to be careful. We have these narratives that are supposed to be for all people. I'm so happy you're on YouTube now. Thank you. She doesn't stop her lies. She doesn't stop her lies. She said she wants him to leave her alone, but she's not leaving her alone. No, she never will. She's nothing without Johnny Depp's name. She's absolutely nothing. I'm quite angry. Amber Turd is a garbage. I don't know. I blocked him. Me Too is behind Amber. I guess all they want is destroy men. Yeah. Sadly, there's a lot of people like that. Amber stepped on the beat today. We're seeing this with that proud the Twitter account that, yeah, she hates men. So there is a group that do. Dauber's the same way. No, he doesn't. She owes him over $8 million. Yeah. Okay, if I see that guy, I'll get rid of them too. He said he's worried about the child. Yeah. He said that he's worried about his child, his children. Yeah, he didn't want Lily and Jack to have to be raised thinking everybody thought that their father was an abuser because they knew he's not. So he went through this case for his children. Amber sees lots of psychologists, but like her lawyers, she fires them when they don't feed into her narrative exactly. Abuse has no gender. She's a liar, period. I'm sorry. This move should be gone. Michelle Dauber et al. Are going to be taking money away from real DV victims and moving it into Amber's pockets. Yeah. And boycotting Dateline. Well, we'll definitely be seeing plenty of it in the streamers. DV survivors, warriors do not believe her. I don't think they do either. I don't. I think huge fandom for Johnny and those millions and millions of signatures are victims who knew she was lying. Amber pledges to step on something today, probably a B. Hello from Finland. Amber is a very bad actor. Yep. Oh, I was funny in interviews. Everybody says I'm a bad actor, so how could I have been acting on the testimony? Yeah, you were badly acting your testimony too, very badly. As your coach said, you can't shed a tear. Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you for coming. I need a few mods to watch. I'll have to look into that. I'm still new at this. I wasn't sure if it was going to take off. I wasn't even sure if I was going to do lives. I was thinking just doing documents, and then I started being a guest on other people's channels, and it just made me want to reach out to people. And I think if I wasn't just sharing that video and not able to see the chat room because I had to pause it, so I think that's what happened. I'll have to figure out if there's a way I can stay here and still control the video as playing. Thank you. Amber's getting paid. I think so. I think she's getting paid. It's an hour long. Shouldn't she worry if baby is Elon's? He could take it away from her unfit mother. He's not on the birth certificate. So whatever. It's not his baby. I don't think it's his baby. I think the best scenario, and this is speculation, if you believe Jennifer, that Paige told Jennifer about the lawsuit, that it's my speculation that Elon, they settled, that Elon got the embryos and paid her the money, and she used that money to make a baby. But that's pure speculation based on the information we got from Jennifer's deposition and letters. No, I believe you. I understand. How could you? The same wording Agent Elaine used in their interviews. How could you believe? He said to me, how could you? How could they? Well, I didn't think he would stab me. With the hunting knife? You didn't think he would stab her. But he'd headbutt you and break your nose and ribs and throw you across the rooms. I don't know. He turns into the Hulk. He can throw her everywhere and she slides across the room. That's like out of movies. Yeah, I doubt it. Possibly. I bet that killing Amber, that Johnny's moved on. He won. He moved on. He's got bigger and better things to do. He's got a movie coming up. Would love that they do a huge interview with Johnny with zero mention of Amber. They had been doing some interviews when he was on the red carpets in this last year and so, promoting films and projects. I'm a DVSA survivor. I'm an educated, mature woman, old enough to be her mother. I want her to have an interview with me. Come on, Amber, let's Zoom together on a YouTube live stream. Let me school you. Yeah, I'm so sorry that's happened to you. Honestly, the timing of her getting a surrogate of a child is suspect to me, wanting to look like a caring mom in the eyes of the public. Get grace. If he doesn't pay, she's going to go with the narrative that he feels guilty. That's why he's dropped the money. If he doesn't pay, if he doesn't make her pay. Yeah, I heard that too. That you put everybody through this for a trial, take your money, take your judgment. I don't think any PR push in the world will be able to gloss over her own personality, which comes out every single time she opens her mouth. Yeah. And she was getting more and more speaking roles, as an activist. She's well-spoken, and I mean, obviously I don't buy into any of it. Let's see what I got here. Speaking fees. Okay. So she was represented by Harry Walker Agency up until the end of the trial. And she is not there anymore. She is not there anymore. I hope. Let's see if they've changed their mind. I can have egg on my face right now. Let's see. This is who was representing her for years. Whoops. Not there anymore. Not there anymore. I checked that. That happened right after the trial because I had been checking a couple times because I remember posting. People were asking, how would someone claim to be a victim ever make money off of that? Why would they do that? And I showed them. I said, because she's getting all these speaking fees. And I always took it from that site. So now it's gone. Okay. Why isn't anyone asking her what is the evidence that wasn't allowed? All I've seen in regards to suppressed evidence are audio tapes and an admission of guilt. I think there are some therapists. Now you have to remember a therapist, and I'm not talking about the expert witnesses, is there for to listen to you. You self-report. You tell them. They have to believe you. They have to believe that you believe so they can help you get through it. They're not there to investigate, get evidence, and prove you to be lying. So they're not good witnesses in that way. And also, I think some of it came in too late. So that's the one she's trying to get in. She wanted the full UK judgment in, and the judge said, no, it's a different system. It's a different court. We're not letting you do it. The other thing is Stephen's text. She tried to get those texts in. They did come in the UK. And Stephen testified that, look, and Johnny's testified, and so many people, his sister, when she gets in her modes, you just have to placate her, just agree with her, just use the words she uses, because if you don't, it will never end. And I think that's what Stephen said about those texts. He was just saying, yeah, she's sorry. You know, he was using her words, and that was not allowed in. It was hearsay because Stephen was not a witness. So, and then we know there's other things that weren't allowed in for Johnny, like the audios from Australia. If he doesn't pay, she's going to go with the narrative that he feels guilty and drop the money. Yeah. Let's see if I need to go further. Heard will never win an Oscar. She'll never seems authentic in interviews or acting roles. I don't know who would hire her, because I would think that a studio wouldn't want the stuff to follow her. I would think directors wouldn't want to have to mess with it. I would think other actors wouldn't want to work with her. At this point, Johnny was dropped. Why isn't she being dropped? She makes me vomit. She will never stop. Go away. Amber, we have enough of your lies. Yeah. Maybe she'll win an Oscar for acting on the stand. Yeah. No, she acted so bad. Even she said that. Everybody was saying I'm such a bad actor. You're a shit actor. I thought so too. She couldn't benefit from his passion. She wins an Oscar for the best line. She's not even that good. There's no point trying to pin Amber in an interview. She wiggles like a worm, and without being under oath with a controlled system, she can't get locked into answering a question. And even Camille, I mean, she had to push hard to get her to answer. You didn't donate, did you? I pledged. Yes, I pledged. No. Amber, that's not what I'm asking you. You said you donated the money. You didn't. Yes, I pledged the money. No, you're right. She has a narrative, and she is not moving from it. And she's got it memorized. And it's going to be, yeah. She couldn't cut music friends out of his life, just like his kids or his sister. Yeah, she tried. Boy, she tried. Yeah, I'm okay. I was so angry when I saw the interview. I think that's why I wanted to hop on, because I was alone. And I said, I need to talk to someone. At least I feel like I'm talking to someone, even though if I'm reading you. But yeah, I was really upset. Yeah, especially when she said he lied. Smash the like button, guys. Thank you. Please show support, subscribe, and hit the button. Thank you guys very much. I have a video ready to come out about the ACLU. I wasn't going to do a live stream. It's really just a catch up because everybody knows that they're asking for the $86,000. But I am going to start on the Rocky Brooks case because I have all the documents. And I already see a lot of people trying to get what the case is about, you know, the original claim, and they're making errors on it because things have been amended. So I'll be starting that. If she doesn't pay, she's going to go with the narrative that he feels guilty why he dropped the money. I find that's coming up a couple times. She texts a girl doesn't think bullshit, and now she wants to be a little princess girl. I've never been to Rosalind. Okay. Sorry. Josh said she did not like him. Okay. So I have had experience with narcissistic people. They will control and isolate the person from friends, family, acquaintances, control issues. Yeah. Josh said basically that he was no longer really hanging out at Sweetser, which is where Josh, that area he's at, she was pretty much getting him to live at the penthouses all the time, where she isolated him. She brought in her family, her friends. She certainly convinced Isaac. Like the Australia audio where nobody's trending. It's supposed to be injuries. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Hello from Ireland. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Queef. She even attempted to morph into an artist. I believe she blacked out her canvases in Australia, not JD. JD, he may have. I mean, he was angry, but she badly injured him. But I did notice the one picture of Lily Rose that she was supposedly painting in between had a black background. So I don't know. Rumor has it that here we go. Rumor has it that a Saudi oligarch proposed to Scamber. Maybe he's footing her bills. Could happen. I thought exactly the same regarding the cuts. I don't know what that was too. Ban the trolls. I wish I could. Blocking out Amber's voice and words is self-care for me at this point. Some people are saying to look at the interview without voice and watch her facial expressions and how she's showing anger, number one. She's showing sarcasm, number two. And I very much feel like she's coming across like, I know better than all of you. I know better than the jurors. I know better than Savanna. I'm above all of you. So just listen to me. And she puts that nose up in the air, lifts her chin up. They're all going to start throwing a fit after today's interview. It's going to be labeled unfair. Well, the one on Dateline, I'm not sure how much edited that's going to be. I mean, they're going to splice in, obviously, scenes from the court and things like that. This interview was done last week. Photos of her getting off the plane and going to the studio show her wearing the same outfit. Yeah. Was it just last week? I thought it was just the other day. We were all talking about it. Oh, yeah, because we had the weekend already. Johnny was right. He stated in the recording that you were too young for me. Yeah. Well, she misrepresented herself to him. Read somewhere that Age got sole custody of the Bros and Elon pays nothing. I never saw that, so I don't know. I only know a rumor. And we didn't know anything other than it was a threat of lawsuit. She makes it sound like everyone is supporting Johnny because of his filming background, but most of the people support him because of the evidence and the testimony presented in court. Yeah, I agree. You can't deny that. I think that's why so many victims and survivors came out, and that petition is still growing. Age says the audio was edited because they didn't fit her narrative. We know all photos and photoshopped, or were photoshopped, of course. The audios were edited, in my understanding, the originals have been sent to the exhibit list, but I think some of them were 5 and 6 hours long, and a lot of it was because the phone was just left on, and there was people walking around. There was no talking, so I think it was just they were just removing dead air. They were not changing the narrative at all. They were not splicing it intentionally. H says yeah. Do you think it's possible that JD won't ever come back to the U.S. after this? I don't. He's not into Hollywood. He has his homes there. He has his studio there for his music. His son, I think, is based out of there with his friends and stuff. His daughter also is based in France, New York, and LA. So, no, I think he'll still be around. But right now, he's going to be doing a U.S. tour, I heard. Josh said that I think it's Jeff Beck will be doing a U.S. leg of the tour. They did UK. They're going to Europe. So hopefully they'll be coming in the U.S. Okay. I think Farron, I've seen her on Twitter. Her sources have drastically different numbers, so no one really knows. But Farron pointed out Amber was paid $300,000 for her Me Too speeches years prior. Yeah, I thought they were saying $33,000 in some of the articles. I think she was paid a lot more than that. I think you're right. Why is there no criminal investigation at this point to hold her accountable? She'll never stop. Any crimes that may or may not have been committed are time barred. You know, perjury from 2016 and things like that. Aquaman. Adam Wallman hinted there would be further charges when he said men at work. I hope she gets charged. Fabrication of evidence. Yeah, I keep waiting for the indictment from Australia. I mean, they should be close to that. he doesn't pay, she's going to go with the narrative. Okay, Mohammed, I read that. I'm way behind though. Whatever chance Amber had to win the defamation trial, she lost it when she took the stand. Yeah. Well, she had her own case, so she had to. Judy could have actually helped her become a decent actress had she shown any interest in his genuine talent and craft. Instead of doing the work, she wants the $7 million easy payday. And he tried to do that. She kept saying, how can I be? She had to have asked him for advice. And his advice was stop doing the soft porn movies with Franco. Also, music was a shared interest he had with Vanessa, who's a musician and model in France. Absolutely. Music is always part of Johnny's life. Amber's in a vulnerable state right now, quick to love bomb someone new. She should be careful in case a stronger predator traps her. Maybe. TikTok has removed all duets of Johnny's first TikTok with no way to appeal it. So his first TikTok was taken down? He only had one up there. No, the one that I know is still there. Yeah. Maybe I misunderstood. Duets of Johnny's. Do you mean they're not allowed to repost it? Because he's still there. Nice about the music side of Johnny. She can't get nothing from it. It needs to be gone. She needs to be gone, yeah. I'm following on Twitter. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate it. The questions are prescripted 100%. Yeah. She gave them the questions. She wouldn't make the interview without knowing them. She wants to have control. I think it's possible. But Savanna's too professional. I think for the most part, they say, no, you don't get to control my questions. I think there was obvious ones. You admitted to instigating abuse. I think that was going to be an obvious question. So I think that's what they did. Yeah. I don't know where that case is going to go. If he doesn't pay, she's Mohammed, you keep catching me. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I want this to come up. Oh, there we go. She's seriously mommy dearest. Well, I hope not to her daughter. We're all done with her lies, for sure. Tug here? I've seen tweets complaining SG was not fair to AH because SG's involvement with JD's legal team. What? It was her choice to give the interview. Absolutely. Amber was bombarded with requests for interviews. She chose Savanna. No doubt about that. No doubt about it. H wants a Hollywood star, but instead is getting placed on Skid Row. There you go. Yeah, I'm sure there's some cult followers here. I'm trying to weed them out. It takes me longer to read than for you guys to post. The evidence already played out. Amber's still trying to hold on to hope and hell because someone will believe her bullcrap. Yeah, she's definitely going to rewrite the narrative as long as anybody will listen to her. If you tell a lie long enough, it becomes the truth, and that's always been her MO. Just keep lying and lying and lying until people start to believe it. Forensic settings in the UK has so many with PD that could not give up and took it to the level, broke the law. Yeah, the one thing I'll say about the UK case, they weren't allowed to bring in any medical. Bless you, hun. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody who went to Fairfax has the same cough now. Oh, I know at least one tested positive for COVID, but all that time outside in the night could be enough sympathy. Oh my God, my body hurt in places I didn't realize. Sleeping on that cold concrete. I brought a folding chair when I went back. It was excruciating, and it got feral. It got feral in the end. I was a DBT therapist for years. The best treatment for BPD is DBT, but it doesn't work if the client's not invested in it. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying, but I think you're right. The patients have to accept this is what it is about them. There's no magic cure-all, and how to adapt their behavior to knowing the signs. This extended chasing Johnny down like in the houses where she would run after him, hitting, yelling. Now it's news stations, which keeps her name in the news. Tension. Very, very good point. Very good point. Amber made a statement that Johnny drank lots and lots of tea. Yes, well, when you're into music, you drink tea. He was actually going through a period where he was drinking a lot of green tea. And for health reasons, it was good for him. I don't know why she was complaining. Although it was taken out of that movie too, I believe. If he doesn't pay, oh, Mom, did you drive me crazy? I keep hitting on you. Joe Rogan came out for Johnny. Wasn't that great? I missed that. All the money in the world won't enable the PR team to rehabilitate Amber in the public eye. At the end of the day, their client is who she is, and nothing will change her enough. Yeah, I wouldn't want to work with her. Skewing the, yeah. Eve is very vicious on Twitter. Boy, just unrelentless. She treated JD and Musk like cash cows. Men are a doormat for her, a means to get power. Wake up, men, you have been had, along with victims of DD and SA. She trashed us all. Personality disorders can't really be changed if her disorder and she's not willing to own it. Yeah, she's going to have to recognize her own behaviors and learn behavioral changes. You know, Johnny started a new chapter in his life. He doesn't need to cater to Amber's show anymore. He has more class than that. Yeah, I think he's what they said. The weight of the world was taken off of him. She is perpetual victim and has abused the laws used to protect us from people like her. Yeah. And the TRO, I always say a TRO should be easy to get, but it's a double-edged sword. A person who is a true victim needs help immediately. They need to get out. They need to be protected. But that also opens the door for people to take advantage of it. And that's why you have to have that court case. You have to prove the case. It can't be believe all women. It has to be listen to all victims and investigate and protect. What's the chance of the appeal being denied? I think it's huge. I mean, we don't, until we see the motions, and I'm not even sure we will see enough information. We don't know the reasons things were not admissible or what they all are. And the most important thing is, even if these three judges, the appellate judges, say, yeah, this should have been admitted, the next question they have to answer is, would it have changed the outcome of the verdict? So it's just not a straightforward, this should have been admitted, one error and it's done. Forget what the jury said. Evaluate the evidence with your own eyes. I'm so thankful every day that this was live streamed. That one help. Move is a troll. I think I got booted. Move. I think I booted move. The jury was not pressured. Well, maybe a little by Amber staring at them. Oh my God. Stared at. I mean, I was sitting there watching her like, what are you doing? And I could see the jury. So when she's staring at them, they immediately are looking down and finding something to do, write something, or pretend, because she was really intense, really intense. Bless you. Thank you. Oh, nearly 3,000 viewers. 950 thumbs up. Thanks. Yeah. Push that thumbs up. Thank you if you enjoy this. On Twitter, someone found an old article from her from, I believe, 2008, where she says it all there. Yeah. She likes old men. She likes booze and drugs. She's delusional. Costner. Oh my God. I can't believe she didn't sue him for defamation. I don't remember him. There's a blind, but I don't think he actually made any claims against her. Even in this new interview, she's still lying. She needs help. She certainly isn't thinking straight. Yeah, no. Will Amber go on trial again? I don't know. Other than the appeal. Oh, wait. Unless there's an indictment in Australia. Thank God the jury sided with the victim. Thank God. By the way, I started following you recently, but I love your coverage on this, you guys. That umbrella guy, Brian, LawTubers. I've had done a much better job and is very much appreciated. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. BPD and HPD doesn't make people evil. She's evil and she has mental disorders. Yeah. At move. I wish I could. I don't have a search on this side. I blocked him. Rottenborn has some dignity. Hey, he was there to do a job. He did the job. I didn't know he liked what he was doing. Johnny didn't like what he was doing. He did his job. He's gone. Thank you for doing this. You're welcome. Amber says you can't be bothered acting and performing at the same time. Yes, Amber, you can. Your problem is you aren't good at either. I always believed Amber was a lesbian. She did an event on Blue Carpet Gala and did interview. And the next minute she was going out with Johnny. Yeah, she was with Tasha, her girlfriend. She said she's bi. Oh, okay, my chat just jumped. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. Watching her testimony, she was lying. She was caught in the lie. She described brutal beatings with no marks on her. It's really sickening for a watch. Yeah. Makeup can only cover so much, but in that court interview, she's twisting her body around. She's moving her hands. She's opening her mouth really wide. There's no way. Johnny could have been the next Phil Hartman. Oh my God, yes. I'm glad he got out. I still like him. I still like Me Too, but now we can say Men Too. Yeah. Me Too served a purpose. Unfortunately, with a lot of these things, they get taken advantage of. Not one law tube attorney who's seen the whole trial believes Amber, not one. No. And a lot of them went into it saying, I'm not choosing sides. I'm not going to investigate. I'm only going to allow in my ears and brain what the jury's doing. And they all came to his side. All of them. They didn't think he'd win all three, but they all came to his side. Narcissistic people are frustrating and make you feel crazy. It gets so exhausting that it makes you feel like giving up. I've never met one, thankfully. Amber pledges to drink and make a pint an hour in honor of Johnny's win. Amber's a terrible actress. I don't know. The only thing Johnny needs to do, continuing to live his life, and if he puts out another TikTok on Friday, no one will be interested in her interview. She needs to crawl on the rock. That's true. That's true. I have a nearly 2-year-old who is very much in the know. Grandson is very much in the no. And I can sit there and know him all day, or I can distract him. Give him something else to put his mind on. No, you can't do that. But here, you can do this. So yeah, Johnny, I'd love him to put out something. The other attorney looked like he never wanted to be there. Oh, man, Adam Nadelhoff. Amber's continuing to make profit off her lies. Yeah, I've been on here. Ooh, how long? Almost 2 hours. I think I'm going to shut this down. I'm randomly going to pick a few and then close it out because it's been 2 hours. Hey, I'm new. It took me a while to get here. Your reputation definitely precedes you. Thank you. I, for one, appreciate your attention to the details in the case. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Caught you on popcorn and glad to have found you. Was watching Deadly Women last night. With macrame working, and it was just shaking my head. We were lucky we lived through it. We're lucky. He's lucky he lived through it. Rottenborn couldn't stand her. Rottenborn is a lawyer and not a magician to conjure up evidence on behalf. He was rough on Johnny. Is embassy supporting her? I thought the Savanna appeared to disbelieve Amber. In my mind, the interview made her look worse. Yeah, well, on Amber. That's not on Savanna. Savanna's got to ask the questions. I hope Savanna really pushes. I think Savanna might get caught in that line. Like, I don't want to push a woman claiming abuse. Right? Because this wasn't a criminal case. Johnny wasn't proved to abuse her. She wasn't proved to abuse Johnny. It's not a criminal case. So I think Savannah's going to walk that narrow line of, I'm not going to push her too hard as a liar, as a criminal, so to speak. She and her lawyers are still lying, though, even right down to claiming that Amber was the first person to have to testify to sexual abuse on TV camera. That one disgusted me especially. Yeah, I don't know whether they were claiming it was the first time in this court. They're trying to narrow it down. As a Greek, I'm offended by her wrongly using Greek philosophy. Freedom of speech is international as long as it's not lies. Amber, leave Greece alone. Yeah, that's the point. And she starts talking about yelling fire in the theater. Johnny told Amber, let's handle this out of court. Remember, she wanted a small newborn at home, but court placed the case off by a year. That ruined her plan. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she wanted to give testimony pregnant. I hate to think that way. I'm going down the bottoms. I didn't see evidence he hit her. I saw photos of bruises inconsistent with what she was describing, and evidence he wasn't in the city after cops showed up and saw nothing. Yeah, the cops saw nothing, and when we finally got to see those photos almost unfiltered, it was just a crying red face. It's just a crying red face. Okay, guys, I'm going to close this down. We're coming into 2 hours. I will be uploading this on YouTube, but I'm going to have to edit out my mute commentary, sadly. I thought I said some good things. I hope you haven't. I hope some of it came through. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. I I found you during the trial, and I just have a question. How did you get started on this defending Johnny? I'd love to hear your story. Thank you. I meant to bring that up. So back in 2016, I'm not a big, I don't want to say one of those fans. I wasn't buying the tabloids to read about celebrities or about Johnny. And I remember hearing that her accusation. Well, first of all, I remember hearing he was marrying her, and I was like, that's a shame. You know, just kind of another midlife crisis, I guess. I don't know. But they looked good together as a couple. And then in 2016, when I heard her claim, I was like, oh, no, this can't be true, because we've never heard anything but positive about Johnny. Never. So I started paying more attention. And then, of course, things got leaked out. The first thing was the LAPD came out and said, no, we were there. There was no damage. And then they doubled down. And I guess there was a meeting and interviewing within the system, within their own department. And the department head came out and said, no, these policemen are standing by the story. This did not happen. We did not see damage. We did not see injury. And then it came out about Tasha, that she had been arrested, that Amber had been arrested, taken to custody, and spent the night in jail for grabbing Tasha. Then letter was released. And that's when I was like, no, this is not right. This is a gold digger. She wants these condos. Of course, Johnny was being quiet. Johnny denied it. He categorically denied it and wanted it to stay private. And then we were hearing about her not showing up for depositions. I'm like, if you're claiming this and you want protection, etc., do your deposition. And then, of course, the kitchen video came out, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. I don't believe this person. I don't believe this person at all. And I started following it, and we were in the TMZ comment section, and we formed like friendships, went to a forum. And in the forum, we were reading a lot of these tabloids that were coming out. And I'm like, this isn't making sense. You know, he sued his manager, and they were quoting things from these lawsuits. I'm like, so we have found a way to get the documents, and we knew they were cherry picking. I'm like, they're taking a sentence out of a paragraph, or they're taking words out of a sentence and twisting them. So I started posting documents, and then I eventually went over to Twitter, and that's how it started. I would call out the media saying, this isn't true. This is the truth. This is the document. This is the full statement. And it just took off from there. So thank you for asking. All right. I'm going to go. I want to thank you all for stopping by. I'm going to edit this. And I feel better that I vented. I hope you feel better. So like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much for coming in, and I will catch you next time. Bye now.